I'll dig through the dirt, I'll climb every stack. I won't rest until I find what I lack. Like finding a needle in a haystack, I'll never give up. I'll keep on pushing through, never back down.
Hello, my name is Jonathan. Welcome to the Haystack. Many of you know that recently I just baptized my eldest son. And to us, that was a great miracle because we had named him Zechariah after Zacharias in the Scriptures, the father of John the Baptist, the temple high priest, who saw an angel and was told he would have a child. So the thing is the name Zechariah means God remembers. So when my wife and I first got married, she was told she wouldn't be able to have a child, that it would be very difficult for her. But she also had a promise that she would have children. He was born. So we saw that and did a little chiasmus kind of backwards thing with my name being Jonathan. And even the way that I was named was very interesting. What happened is I'm the youngest of 6 kids. The brother closest in age to me is about 6 years older, so about when he was 5. He goes up to my mom, who's sleeping, and she worked at night, and my dad worked during the day, so she slept during the day. So my 5-year-old brother goes up and wakes her up and says, "You're going to have a son named Jonathan." And she's like, no, that's not going to happen. It can't happen. Sorry, but yeah, go play. So basically just, that's not going to happen. It can't happen. And then I was born. And so they named me Jonathan. Jonathan means gift from Jehovah, or given from Jehovah. It's also interpreted as gift from God. You know, it depends, because Nathan also means that, and it's Johannathan. So Jehovah is the J part. So, and it seems to be Jehovah has given, right? I asked my brother about this when he was older, and he's like, I don't even know. He's like, I must have heard the name somewhere, like maybe on TV, and thought it was cool. And so maybe that's why. He's like, I don't remember it at all. So I don't have too much clarity on that, but it's always been very special to me. Try to live up to the name I've been given. And so for us, naming Zach, what we did, what was very personal for our family. All the names our children have are tied to something with the temple and scriptures in the temple, like Zechariah being Zacharias, Adam, Zoe. Zoe's another name for Eve. Ezra, So this is all, it's unique that we finally got to see this come full circle for this 8 years where we finally baptized him. I remember his birth, I remember his baby blessing, and then baptizing him. It was so weird because everything was happening so fast. And it almost seemed like, is this really happening? I'm like, I was preparing for this, but we kind of just get shoved and let's do this, do. And it was over. It was so quick, so fast. We asked my son how he felt about everything. He's just like, I just feel good. And I was very interested in what he might say, because I remember when I got baptized, I remember a lot about that day. I specifically remember that night laying in my bunk bed, and my older brother kind of making fun of me or just asking questions. Maybe he's nervous and framing it in a way that makes him more comfortable. But he asked me about baptism and receiving the gift of the Holy Ghost and how that made me feel, and if it really made a difference. And that is the first time in my life I remember bearing my testimony to somebody and he didn't respond. He just stopped and was quiet. And so that was my first experience sharing my testimony, was the day I was baptized. So it's really great to see all this come full circle. We had everything working against us that day. It was crazy. Like, kids were fighting. Zach woke up in the middle of the night and started watching TV. I was just getting over being sick. All the other kids were getting over being sick. Then Zach's like, oh, I don't want to go, like right as we're trying to leave. And we had to get to the steak center at 10 a.m. Of course, we ordered a suit and everything, a white shirt for him, you know, because, you know, everything has to be perfect, right? I hate that, but we try to show as much respect as possible and do things the best we can to show our reverence and attitude for such sacred ordinances. But everything was going wrong. It was crazy. It was loud in the house. And I'm just thinking, like, all right, let's just keep focusing on what matters most, what matters most, what matters most. You know, I was pretty proud of myself keeping my cool with everything going wrong. But, like, my son's like, I don't want to go anymore. And then my wife is like, what? We're going to tell all the family that they're not coming then for the party after. And I was cooking some awesome Kahlua pork. It was great. And some coconut rice. It was great. But a lot of people couldn't make it who had planned on coming. My son said he had a headache and was tired. So my wife gives him a little bit of Coca-Cola in a cup. And first thing he does is dumps it all over his white shirt and in his pants and everything. And I'm like, oh no. and we're already running late. And so I'm like, okay, it's not like they're going to start without us. We're the only 8-year-olds he's the only 8-year-old being baptized. So we just took a deep breath, got there a little bit late. And then the stake primary president, or one of the presidency, met us at the door. And we just said, sorry, a lot of things went wrong. And she's like, oh, tell me about it. This happens with every baptism. Like, with my own kids, like, she tore her dress and everything that we had got her and everything. So I was sitting down sewing everything up just before she got baptized. And so we're like, oh, this is great. But the mood completely changed as soon as we got to the stake center. Everything was better. The kids were better. The kids were happier. And then we got to participate in that ordinance. But gosh, it happened so fast. I felt like time was slipping away from me because I wanted to marinate in. I wanted to enjoy that time. And it was just being ushered. And that's something that I got taught when I was a ordinance worker in the San Diego temple, is that some people want to come through and they're just do. And so I was taught to slow things down, not to make things purposely slow, but to make things just calm and clear. And I had a couple people who I brought through the veil who had told me that slowing them down kind of put calm to them and to their nervousness or stress, kind of let them let go of what was going on and focus on the things that matter most. But in all honesty, I couldn't do it faster if I wanted. I can only talk so fast. So it worked out. Anyways, I saw a lot of you guys had liked the picture, my son getting baptized. Got a lot of congratulations. Even Chief Mitiga liked it, which was nice. I got messaged by a couple people telling me that he had mentioned me in one of his latest videos. And it's funny because I don't have a ringer or anything that tells me when he's live or going on. But on Facebook, I saw that he was live. And I skipped forward to about the time where he was at live. And it happened to be the part where he was mentioning Rise Zion and then me. He's like, I like Haystack. But he called me apostate. I'm like, hold up. Come on, David. I'm like, I like you too. And I didn't call you an apostate. I just think you don't understand things the same way. And that you think you're doing what's best according to your knowledge. But the thing is that you can't have one foot here and one foot there. So I just reiterated my stance and said that there's many good organizations throughout the world, and many of them can probably do a lot better helping someone through this life than the church can. But only the church can help you get to a final destination, the final destination in the next life. And that's through the restoration and the keys and our prophets and apostles. So, still friends, right? We disagree on things, and he liked it, right? So we disagree on stuff, but we're still adults and able to carry on. The reason I make that point is because I've had like Christian Homestead, deleted me as a friend on Facebook and things like that, and put some distance between him and I, because of my association with Chief Mitiga. And immediately I know it's not because of something he heard me say, but it's some outside perspective. Because he's done that before, and I called him, tried to get into contact with him, and he called me up and he's, oh yeah, I misunderstood. Yeah, great. It's good that we talk things through. He's busy. He's hard to get a hold of, but needless to say, I'm not on the friends list anymore. So I guess as long as I have someone who we theologically don't meet eye to eye with, who speaks negatively about the prophets and apostles, if I'm friends with that person, I can't be friends with another saint. Okay. I hope you don't delete President Nelson for talking to the Pope. So I love Jared, and I still support him, still support his videos. He's still on on my featured channels. I'm not saying do anything, but yeah, I think there's a huge misunderstanding and false judgment and it's not just him, it's tons of people, because they had a misunderstanding of something, and they're looking after their own brand. I have to protect myself spiritually. Okay, I'm not harming anybody spiritually, reiterating what the prophet says. But Chief Mitiga, he said he liked me, even though we disagree. I think that is contending without being contentious. I think that's fine. It's not passive aggressive. It's not backstabby or anything like that. It's not ghosting. So it's called being an adult. So again, in case there's any misunderstanding, still love all these other YouTube channels. There is a lot of toxicity and narcissism and stuff that really makes sense to me now after talking to people in person. And so I just don't be one of those people you have to walk on eggshells around. We were warned about that. Don't be quick to judge, don't be quick to anger, quick to take offense. It's sad that this kind of stuff still happens. But we do have a lot of good things happening. There are a lot of smaller YouTube channels that I've been in contact with that we want to get together and do stuff. What's Christ Pearls is the channel. Christ Pearls. She and I have talked, and we want to do a video together talking about Joseph in Egypt. Because for me, I just want to find people who are interested in the same thing I am. And not too many people seem to care about historical synchronisms with biblical things. And to me, historical context and everything is so awesome. Helps us recognize a pattern in today. So we don't get these false imaginations and ideas and thoughts and poor expectations, which, cause people to sense that something is not exactly 100% on point, and it sifts them naturally away. But also shows that we're not ignorant, and we're not just doing it because we're told. We're acting for ourselves and not being acted upon. That we're studying it out, and perhaps it's not everybody's interest. It certainly is one of my interests. It's just I feel let down a lot because I have this niche of curiosity that isn't very important. So it's hard to find people who are just as excited or care to listen to it. You ever get to that point where you want to share something but no one's listening, so you just keep your mouth shut? That's what happened with the prophets during Mormon's day. When there was a falling away, that the Lord called them and said, keep your word, and preserved it for Mormon and Moroni to go on and take on. Anyways, we're getting into Doctrine and Covenants this year. It's going to be exciting. Don't forget, I did that video about the winding up scene in The Purchase of Kirtland. That is one of the videos I think that I should probably maybe do it again because it's very relevant this year. It was relevant last year too, and it got a lot of views. And for me, a lot of views is a lot compared to somebody else. Somebody else, it's going to be not so much. Yeah, that's it. Love you guys. There's a lot of stuff I want to cover. I'm just focused on other things.